And there's no way in hell at 63 years old with all those great hits, when all those people sampling Angie Stone's music, that she was supposed to be out here selling and promoting hot sauce and gift bags. I'm tired of these racist institutions using and stealing from our people. And these fake celebrities, they always acting like they cared once you died. But when she was in the hospital after being poisoned, no one cared but her kids. When she called out UMG, no one cared. No one made a video saying, oh, they doing this to me too. So in my opinion, most of these celebrities are, and I can't say the word. So that's why on my channel, I always say, I let nothing slide. Matter of fact, it's hard for me to sleep if I don't speak my mind. And I was doing research at 3 a.m. and I found this. Check this out.
It recently came to me because, of course, people wanted to know my story and they wanted to do my biopic. And it came to me via one of the employees that worked for that company that represented him. They said to me, whoever's doing your story, can I please be a voice in the room? I would love to give some input from things that I knew. And it's time that the truth be told. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Because the first you got to tell me.
Well, damn. So ironically, she was working on her biopic and now she's dead. Make that make sense. And it's ironic how when our people die, their biopic comes out. And every time their biopic comes out, guess who's in it? Clive Davis. Soon as our people pass away, they got a documentary coming out on Lifetime or some dumb shit. But it's always Clive Davis in the biopic giving his narrative on how the career went. Always lying. But I need y'all to do me a favor because we're going to talk about that later on in this video. But I need y'all to watch this full video because at the end, I'm going to have a short, powerful clip from Angie Stone. But let's get right into this article. This article is from eNews, yahoo.com. It was published March the 3rd, 2025. Resurfaced video shows Angie Stone discussing how this celebrity breakup damaged her career. In one video that was originally shared September 2024, Stone details how ending her relationship with singer D'Angelo affected the trajectory of her career. Stone says shortly after the breakup between us, everything kind of slowed down in my world in terms of tour dates work. The perception was the worst, of course. And look, like I mentioned earlier, even though Clive Davis and UMG, when they do these documentaries, when they do these biopics about our people, they always try to spin the narrative in their favor. But I see right through that because what they do is they study you. When they first sign you, they study you and they see what kind of weakness you have. And eventually they use that weakness against you. They do it to every celebrity. She later alleged that there was one person in particular who admitted to being assigned to destroy her reputation and make the public think that she was responsible for D'Angelo's addiction to drugs and alcohol. She said it was told to me that they were single-handedly put in charge of sending out letters everywhere to make people think that I was the cause of him being exposed to alcohol and to drugs, to everything that could have gone wrong, said Stone. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of this stuff that a lot of people have fallen victim to. And you see the games they play, once they signed you, eventually they're going to force you to bow down and kiss their ring. If you don't kiss their ring, if you try to fight back, they will unalive you. I'm telling you, we saw it with all these celebrities. She's not the first one. And we all know about D'Angelo. He went through that journey on his own. That was not her fault. He went through that journey because they did the same thing to him, what they do to every celebrity. Just like they did to Luther Vandross. See, he had a weight issue and it messed with him mentally, and they knew that. So his whole career, slowly they used that weight problem, that weight mentality that he had. They used it against him. They used it so much against him that was the cause of his death. These people was paying the media, all the media, Saturday Night Live, Oprah, they was paying all these people to do interviews with Luther Vandross. And the first thing they wanted them to do is talk about his weight. And they knew every time they talk about it, it'll mess with him mentally. And it drove him so crazy That's what unalived him. That was the cause of it. And that's what these people do. And you had Michael Jackson, even though he outsmarted them at their own game, they still doubled back and got him. See, they knew that he ain't really have a childhood. So that kind of messed with him. So slowly they used that weakness against him. And the whole situation with the kids thing, and that drove him mad and crazy. And eventually they unalived him. And even with Whitney Houston, they start paying her brothers to start giving her drugs. They start off with small drugs and stuff like that, but they started giving her drugs. Eventually, she got hooked. Before that, she was a church girl. She was a good girl, but they turned her out on purpose. So when they planned to unalive her, all they had to say, it was the drugs. She was addicted to drugs. That's all they had to say. But we all know the story. We know Whitney ain't unalive herself. We know that. So to my people in 2025, let's stop chasing the Caucasian man's fame, because when Luther Vandross reached fame, he was the most depressed ever. It's a trap. Stay independent. Be in control of your own money. You don't need to sign to these people. You don't need to have these people telling you do this, do that. No. Like I always say, if your art, if anything you do is great, the people will come to you. You don't need to sign to them. You don't need to take their orders, because once you sign to them, they own you. And look, the money might come slower when you independent. The work might be a little harder when you independent, but you're going to cherish it more. You're going to feel good about yourself. You'll be able to sleep at night. When you owe these people money, when you put out an album and they get 80% of the profit, you ain't going to sleep. You go turn to drugs. That's why so many of our people turn to drugs. That's why so many of our people sell out, because they sold their soul to these people. Once they signed a dotted line, they sold their soul to these people. And I'm tired of losing our legends that made timeless music to these people, and they just moving on like nothing ever happened. We must learn from their actions. And like I said earlier, Angie Stone was working on her biopic. I promise you, when Angie Stone's biopic comes out, I'm telling you who gonna be in it. Clive Davis is going to be in it, and he's going to be talking like Angie Stone ain't have no static with them, like Angie Stone wasn't about to sue them. That's what he does. And I'm telling you, just go back and watch Whitney Houston, go back and watch Prince, Michael Jackson, go back and watch all these documentaries and biopics. Clive Davis is in it. And these people ain't like Clive Davis. Once they found out who he really was, once they found out, oh, these people are stealing money. What happened with Michael Jackson? Once he found out that they were stealing money from artists, what Michael Jackson did? Michael Jackson was buying people publishing and giving it back to him. So they had to get rid of him. Michael Jackson owned 50% of Sony. Those people ain't like that. They still found a way to unalive him and to tarnish his name. And lastly, I want to read y'all this comment I received. It made so much sense. I also find it weird the people in the van said nothing. No news video or pictures of the crew in the van or the driver of the truck. And see, after a few days, you get to sit. Think about this, what they told us. They told us the van flipped over and the 18-wheeler hit the van. Why we ain't see no pictures of the people, the other 8 people in that van standing around? Why we ain't get no videos or interviews of what happened? Why the truck driver ain't saying nothing? Why we still don't have a mugshot of the truck driver? Because when you a truck driver, they go arrest you for whatever. They go find something with your logs. And if you driving for CRST, trust me, something is wrong with your logs, and DOT will find a way to make you at fault. So why we haven't got a mugshot of the truck driver? Why we haven't got a mugshot of the van? If he flipped over and no one caused him to flip over, he should have a mugshot too. They should have arrested him also. We saw no pictures, no interviews of the people who was in the van. Make that make sense. It's not adding up. But rest in peace to Angie Stone. We love you. We'll never forget you. And just like I promised y'all, here's the short clip of Angie Stone. I'm out.
Over 25 years has passed, and I found out. That's how long it took me to find out that there was a whole process and brigade of letters, and let's calculate this move so that she will never, ever rise above. I mean, to the day, I have not received not one platinum or gold record that I had written for those projects, because along with all of that came, we don't need her to have anything to prove that she did anything. That's horrible. So, that's a very painful secret to reveal for me, because my music is my gift, it's my livelihood, it's everything I believe in, it's what I love, it's a healing point for me and for so many other people. So I think for it to be toyed with in the way that it has been for the embodiment of other people's growth, you don't try to annihilate another situation to grow your own brand. It's just not cool. I'm never going to just stop like that. It's always something next. I got hot sauce. I got barbecue sauce. I got coffee. That's coming. I got so much television stuff and film stuff coming that you ain't ready for it.